Do you feel like you're gaining muscle but not losing fat in a body recomposition journey? Are you worried that lifting heavier weights is gonna make you bulky versus lean? If you are a woman who is scared to lift heavy weights because you think it's gonna make you look like the Incredible Hulk and make you bulky, or maybe you're in a body recomposition journey and you feel like you're building a lot of muscle and you're getting stronger, but you still don't have that lean figure and you don't feel like you're able to see the muscle because of possibly a layer of body fat around it. In this video, I'm gonna talk all about if lifting heavy weights can actually make women bulky, and if in fact you should be scared to lift heavy weights or embrace it. Then we're gonna get right into the important part of the video because this comes very highly requested from many of you. What to do if you feel like you are gaining strength and building muscle, but you're not losing body fat. I'm gonna give you 5 things that you can look at to make sure you are doing correctly in order to achieve fat loss as well as muscle gain in your body recomposition to appear leaner versus bulky. I'm gonna get right into it, but of course, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you get a notification when I release a new video every single week, just like this one. My name is Michelle Roots, kinesiologist, personal trainer, nutrition coach, and fitness and fat loss motivation specialist. I have over 16 years experience helping people increase lean muscle, decrease body fat, and become the best versions of themselves. And I created this channel to help you as well. So of course, if you find this video helpful, make sure you give it a like and leave me any questions in the comments below. I'm always happy to help you guys out. So let's answer the question once and for all. Will lifting heavy weights make women bulky? I want to scream no, but I also want to say it depends. First of all, we need to define what bulky actually is. To one person, I might be bulky. Someone might define my body type as bulky. To another person, might look at Serena Williams' beautifully sculpted muscular body and maybe define that as bulky. Another person might just look at someone with maybe just a little bit of extra body fat to lose and call that bulky. It all just depends on an individual's idea of bulky. The most common question, and I probably have this conversation at least once a week with one of my online coaching or in-person coaching clients, is if I start lifting heavier, I don't want my legs to get bulky. I don't want my legs to get bigger. I'm worried that doing all these squats or doing all these deadlifts is going to make my legs bigger than they are already. And they term that as bulky. So for the sake of this video, let's just go with that is the definition of bulky that the average female is thinking, is that I don't want to make my arms look bigger by building muscle underneath and have bigger arms. I don't want my legs to be bigger. So here's the thing, although every female is different and every body is different, the average female does not have enough testosterone in her body to build enough muscle to look like the Incredible Hulk or look like a bodybuilder. Going back to the topic of I don't want my legs to get bigger from doing all these squats. So-and-so told me that I should only do Pilates because if I do back squats, it's gonna make my legs bigger. To each their own. I'm not here telling you what's right or what's wrong. I'm just telling you my opinion based on my experience on working with clients for the last 16 years. What's most important to remember is everybody is different and you never know until you try. I can't guarantee that your legs aren't gonna get a few inches bigger from squatting, but the kicker is that once you start to build the lean muscle underneath, that's when you start to decrease the layer of body fat. It's all a process, but in order to decrease that layer of body fat, you need to build the muscle underneath. So maybe there'll be a very brief period of time where you're building the muscle but haven't lost the fat yet, then maybe you might be half an inch bigger on your thighs, but that next month, as your metabolism increases because you've built some lean muscle, that body fat just starts to drip off. Again, I've talked about this on my channel. I'll put a link to my body recomposition playlist, all my videos talking about body recomposition. So it's important to look at the long term. There's the traditional diet path where starve yourself, restrict your calories, and do hours and hours of cardio. So what usually happens is people are successful in losing weight, but the problem is they are not able to stick to it. They are not able to keep that weight off because they did nothing to change their body composition. They almost become a smaller body type, but softer, if that makes sense, because they didn't build any lean muscle, which means they didn't do anything to change their metabolism. Now, in order to keep that weight off, they have to continue eating in a restricted way, and they also have to keep up with that cardio. It'll happen a lot faster, but it is less sustainable, it's less enjoyable, and in the end, you're not doing yourself any favors by building some muscle to feel stronger, to feel empowered, to decrease the risk of injury, to carry your kids after you have babies, to carry your groceries, to, I just talked to a client today, pick up the laundry detergent and not have to think twice about it and not have to think I'm gonna blow out my back. Now that we've defined bulky versus lean, if you've been lifting weights and you feel like you're getting bulky, maybe because that body fat's not coming off, or if you're scared to lift weights because you're scared it's gonna make you bulky, here are 5 things you can do to make sure you're not in the situation where you're gaining muscle but not losing fat, to avoid looking, what we say, bulky. Number 1, I'm just gonna say it, you're being impatient. As I said, a body recomposition, you are not going to see visible results in 4 weeks. If you're lifting weights 3 days a week, if you've just started, again, I've mentioned in videos in the past, if you're a newbie to strength training, you might start to see a little bit more of a change initially, a little bit faster than someone who's been lifting weights for a really long time, but still, after 4 weeks, you are not gonna see a huge change on the scale. You are not gonna see a huge change in your before and after pictures. It can happen, don't get me wrong. So I'm gonna say number 1 is most likely you're just being impatient and you're getting on the scale every morning. If that's you, stop it. You are looking in the mirror every morning, you're putting on that pair of jeans every single day, hoping that it fits all of a sudden, and it's only been 2 weeks. Hey team, I just want to take a minute to tell you about today's video sponsor, Element. Whether it's a workout day or not, hydration and electrolytes are so important to keep your body functioning properly. Element is the perfect electrolyte drink with no sugar and no artificial sweeteners and no other junk. It has the perfect balance of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And again, no sugar. I love how I feel after taking these just once a day, especially after sweaty workouts. Electrolytes are so important for so many functions of the body, such as hormonal regulation and nutrient absorption from all the healthy foods you're eating. Element can help prevent and eliminate headaches, muscle cramps, fatigue, sleeplessness, and other common symptoms of electrolyte deficiency. One of my favorite flavors is watermelon salt, and it's also great to replenish your electrolytes the morning after having a few glasses of wine. Right now, Element is offering my listeners a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try out all 8 flavors or share Element with a friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/Michelle. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinklmnt.com/Michelle. And I'll put that link in the description below if you want to go check it out. My best advice is look at it as a 6-month at least plan. Weigh yourself maybe once a week, but honestly, again, in a body recomposition, you might gain 5 pounds of muscle and lose 5 pounds of fat. And although you look different, the scale might not even move. So again, don't use that as your only marker. Make sure you are taking pictures, make sure you're taking measurements, make sure you're checking in with how you feel. How are you feeling in the gym? How are you feeling in your workouts? Do you feel like you're getting stronger? How are your energy levels throughout the day? How is your sleep? All of these things, because these are all great things too. And again, it only gets better the further you get into your journey. So step 1 is you're probably being impatient. Stop looking at yourself in the mirror and picking yourself apart. Just remember that you are taking the steps to become the best version of you. And by this time next year, think of where you're gonna be. Number 2, and a very, very common problem I see is, Michelle, I've been crushing my workouts. I'm going to the gym 4 days a week. I'm going hard. I'm following my plan. I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing. I'm hitting my steps. But then I say, well, how's your nutrition been? It's been okay. Have you been hitting your protein goal? Meh. Some days I do, some days I don't. This is another thing. If you feel like you're gaining muscle but not losing fat, you might want to take a look at. Especially in a body recomposition journey, we are trying to build some lean muscle. Therefore, we wanna make sure we're prioritizing protein. I talk all about the macros for a body recomposition in this video right here, how to calculate how many calories you should be eating, as well as the best macro split in order to build lean muscle, but also still be able to decrease body fat. I'll link that video in the description below if you wanna go check that out next. But not only does protein help you build lean muscle, it'll help keep you feeling full. It'll help repair your muscles after you've done a strength training workout, which is how our muscles build. And it also has the highest thermogenic effect, meaning your body will burn more calories digesting protein than any other food. So if you're not locking in and hitting that protein goal, keeping your carbs, keeping your fats all in check, remember, nutrition plays a huge role, especially in fat loss. Doing more cardio is not gonna help you with fat loss. Locking in your nutrition is going to help you with fat loss. So if you haven't yet locked it in, that's an area that you can improve on, and let's do it 80% of the time. Do not expect to be 100% perfect, hitting your macros 7 days a week perfect. But if you are doing really well, 80% of the time you are still winning. Reason number 3, you might feel like you're gaining muscle but not losing body fat in a body recomposition is maybe you are not moving enough throughout the day. So I'm not talking about like cardio on a specific machine. I mean, your daily activity. That's one of the first things I ask people when they say, I'm not really losing fat. I've locked in everything. And my next question is, how many steps are you getting a day? And I don't mean you have to hit 10K steps every single day, but if you work at a desk job and you literally maybe are hitting 3,000, 1,500 steps a day, that is an area, again, that you can improve on. So non-exercise activity thermogenesis, NEAT, we call it, in your non-workout time. So going for a quick walk on your lunch break, walking your kids to school and walking back home, all of these things are just extra calorie burn and an extra opportunity to put yourself in a deeper calorie deficit without having to restrict your calories. If currently you're hitting 2,000 steps a day, I don't think you need to jump to 10K steps. Try and hit 5K steps a day. Be like, okay, I'm gonna go for a walk once a day. I'm gonna try and hit 5K steps a day. And then you gradually increase that over the course of time. Don't stress out that you have to hit your 10K steps. Just try and be better than you were last week. That's it. The best thing about adding just walking into your program is that it doesn't actually make you more hungry. If you add high intensity interval training or like long hours of cardio into your program, what that ends up doing is just making you more hungry. So in turn, you're gonna consume more calories. So it doesn't really do anything. You're running the risk of using your muscle mass to plow you through the workouts. You're putting more stress on your body. You're spending more time in the gym than maybe you want to, and it becomes less of a lifestyle thing. And I'm not saying cardio is bad. Cardio is amazing and it has its benefits. It's great for your health, all of the things. But if you are currently only hitting 2,000 steps a day, here's another opportunity for improvement to help with that fat loss process, is slowly just try and increase your daily step count. Issue number 4 that we might want to check in on: what does your program look like? Are you following a strength training program that applies progressive overload? Are you continually challenging yourself, either increasing your reps, increasing your weights? If you're not familiar with progressive overload, I have a video for that too, explaining all about it. I'll link that in the description below. But it is so important, especially in a body recomposition journey, because we are trying to build lean muscle and we are trying to get stronger. Again, as I said at the beginning of the video, there might be a transition point where you're building this muscle and you might feel like, why is the fat not coming off? But as you hit that breaking point where you've built enough muscle, your metabolism increases, you do all the other things I'm talking about in this video, and then your body fat starts to decrease and you start to see these defined muscles. But it is all a process. So make sure you are following progressive overload. You're not just doing random workouts every single day. That is fine for a few times a week if you like to switch it up and just be creative, or do YouTube workouts or go to group classes, whatever it is, that's fine. But you wanna be making sure you're tracking your big compound lifts. I have a lot of videos talking about compound lifts already on my channel. I'll also link those in the description below. Those are the lifts that you wanna be tracking to make sure you're getting stronger. If we're getting stronger, we're building muscle. And then part 2 is you wanna make sure you're not doing too much cardio, but you're still doing a little bit of cardio, of course, one, because it's good for your health, and again, just allows for extra calorie burn. I highly recommend zone 2 cardio to a lot of my coaching clients because of all the health benefits, and it's not too intense that it's really stressful on your body or on your joints. It's great for just increasing your daily calorie burn. I talk all about zone 2 cardio in this video as well. I'll link that in the description below. You guys are gonna have a lot to go watch after this. So with that being said, if you are following a progressive overload program and you're doing your strength training, but you're not incorporating any cardio, maybe this is an opportunity and something else we can add in to see if that makes a difference. So maybe 2 to 3 times a week, you're doing 30 to 60 minutes of zone 2 cardio. Start adding that in and see how your body responds. And last tip number 5, you might be eating too many calories a day. And I hate saying this because I know that if you're a female and you're watching this, you might be coming from a diet world where you're constantly restricting your calories. So I'm not saying you need to starve yourself. There's a possibility that maybe either the calculation was wrong, again, because all of these calculations are just estimates. Go off of how are you feeling. If you feel really full all the time and you're forcing yourself to eat and you've been consistently sticking to your nutrition plan, sticking to your calories, hitting your protein for at least 4 to 6 weeks, and either the scale is going up or again, you feel like you're building muscle, but the body fat isn't necessarily coming off, either you're not tracking your food 100%, like literally down to cooking oils. You need to be tracking everything because an extra 200 calories in a bite from your kid's sandwich or a bite of this cookie or too much cooking oil, all of these things can add up really quick and put you actually in a calorie surplus. So that's option 1 that you want to look at. Option 2 is, again, those maintenance calories calculators are not 100% accurate. So go off of however your body feels, eating at the calorie range that you're eating. But again, if you haven't been 100% consistent, you need to start with that. See how you feel 3 or 4 days hitting those calories exactly. If you still feel like you're feeling really full or if the scale is going up, you're probably eating in a surplus, and we want to be at maintenance or just right underneath. So those are my 5 tips. I guess I've got one extra thing for you. If you've done all of these things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, Michelle, check, 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 check. I'm doing all these things. Why is it not working? Especially being patient. If you have been patient, so you've been at it for at least 5 or 6 months consistently, there's a possibility there might be something going on with your hormones. Maybe it's lack of sleep. There's a possibility your cortisol is through the roof if you're very stressed out. This could cause your body to store more body fat. So check in on your sleep, minimum 7 to 9 hours. Make sure you're doing the things. Of course, this is not realistic for everyone. I get it. I have had 2 babies. I know what it's like. So if you're in that part of your journey, disregard this. I get it. You're in survival mode. Maybe that's something that you can't help. But if you do have the opportunity to turn Netflix off and go to bed an hour earlier, do it. Prioritize your sleep. It goes a long way, especially with fat loss, having the energy to push through your workouts, decreasing your cravings. Of course, we need to look at water. Of course, we need to look at your cortisol level. So those are some other things. If you've gone through 1 to 5 and those are still, you've locked all of that in, it is a lifestyle as a whole. There are all of these healthy habits. It's not this magic diet or this magic workout. Remember, all of these things come into play to not only make you feel great, help you get stronger, and again, in turn, achieve that lean body that you want. And if you want to know more about my personal journey, how I was able to get the leanest and strongest I've ever been now versus what I thought to do 15 years ago before I had kids, I talk about it in this video right here about the mistakes I was making before because I thought I wanted to be on the cover of a fitness magazine, and I was doing all the things. I was scared to lift heavy because I didn't want to get bulky. I was doing all the cardio. I was in the restrictive diet phase, but versus what I'm doing now, living by the 80-20 rule, leading by example for my kids, lifting as heavy as I can, doing a little bit of cardio and just walking with my kids. And it truly made the difference. And honestly, I've seen the biggest change after having my second son, who is almost 2.5. I watched my body transform and I went from building that lean muscle without the body fat dripping off. And I can honestly say from experience is you get to the point where I had a talk with myself and said, you know what? You're probably never gonna get back to that body you had before. I had accepted it. I said, I'm just gonna keep working because I know that I wanna feel strong. I wanna feel healthy. I need to build back my muscle. I need to rebuild my core after having a baby. And I need to be strong to carry these 2 boys around all the time. I literally had the talk with myself and I kept my head down, didn't care about the scale. I just kept pushing it to see how strong I could get. I shifted my mindset from what my body looked like to how my body felt. And again, leading by example for these 2 small humans I have. Is mommy strong? What do you see mommy do in the gym? What kind of workouts do I do?
Heavy deadlifts and all the chin-ups.
Yeah. Do you think, does mommy have muscles? Are you gonna have muscles like mommy? Yeah, let me see.
Do.
Let's see. Oh, look at this. Love it. So that's enough rambling. Again, I really hope if you watch this video all the way to the end, it just helped you with your mindset around your transformation journey. Again, I speak from experience after going through this after 2 pregnancies. I understand how hard it is, especially if you're starting from scratch and there's so much different information on the internet. I just hope that this video will help you shift that mindset. So I'll link all the videos below that I mentioned in the video today if you have some time and you wanna go educate yourself some more. If you do want to start following a progressive overload strength training program, I created an 8-week progressive strength training program for the gym or at home with just dumbbells. I have a 3-day split and a 4-day split option. I'll link that in the description below as well. If you're looking to start getting serious about your strength training and want to start applying that progressive overload principle. And if you want more information about my personalized online fitness and nutrition coaching, I'll put a link in the description below as to where you can find out more about working with me one-on-one.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.